Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you've been following my work for any period of time, you've probably noticed that I put out a lot of content around therapeutic humming and offer a lot of different resources to help people start a humming and vocal toning practice. And that's for good reason, because humming is a hell of a drug. It's the gateway drug into DIY sound healing, and in my opinion, it should be the foundation of everyone's practice. But I think that I found something better, and that would be the didgeridoo. In today's video, I'm going to talk about why the didgeridoo is like 10xing your humming practice, especially when it comes to some of the health benefits such as nitric oxide generation. And there's other health benefits to playing a didgeridoo that I'm not going to get into this video. But if you stick around, I am going to show you a really unique practice that I've been doing on the Didge that I actually haven't seen anybody else using. And it's not to say that people aren't using it, but I haven't found it. So if that sounds interesting to you, stick around and we're going to explore how to up-level your home sound practice with the didgeridoo. Hi, my name is Nicholas Penn. I am a professional musician and a therapeutic sound specialist. My greatest ambition in this work is to help the world learn how to use the foundations of therapeutic sound. There's a certain base level of learning how to work with sound as a therapeutic tool that I really believe everyone needs to know. It's the basic washing your hands and brushing your teeth of sound healing, but it works on the nervous system, it works on the emotional body, and it works on other levels of the physical body that are different from, just the basic hygiene that we do every day. I'm here to help you begin the journey of incorporating therapeutic sound into your daily life and just understanding how to even use the energy of sound in a therapeutic way. I do have on-demand online courses, I have one-on-one sessions available, and I have different sound healing instruments available on my website, which you can find in the description. So when it comes to the didgeridoo, I wish I had picked up this instrument sooner. Seriously, it has been a complete game changer for me, and it's really not that dissimilar from humming. Some key observations that I want to point out is that when you're playing the didgeridoo, you're actually resonating this entire tube. And what's happening is that energy of this tube of air, this column of air that's resonating, it's not just being projected out that end of the didgeridoo, it's also reverberating out from the sides, and it's blasting you in the face. So it's kind of like being blasted in the face with a sound cannon or something. All of that energy is like hitting you in the face. It's almost like when you're driving really fast in a car and you stick your head out the window and you like open your mouth and you're like, and you're just like getting hit in the face with all of that wind energy. It's not quite that dramatic, but playing the didgeridoo is kind of similar to that. It's like getting blasted in the face with a sound cannon. So, when it comes to humming, one of the main benefits of humming is nitric oxide production, because you're vibrating the tissues in your nasal cavity that already produce nitric oxide in small amounts. But when you vibrate those tissues through humming, you get 15 to 20 times the nitric oxide. And when you breathe in through the nose after every round of humming, you get that nitric oxide into your lungs. And there's tons of health benefits about that we're not going to get into in this video. But when you play the didgeridoo, it's like more vibration than just humming. So there isn't any specific research that I could find on didgeridoo for nitric oxide production in the nasal cavity. But if you're really just basing it on the vibratory effect that it's having on this part of the face, then there's absolutely no way that this isn't also having the same beneficial effect of generating that nitric oxide, because the vibration is even more intense. It's more palpable. I actually emailed the scientists who did the study on nitric oxide and humming, and I told them about the didgeridoo. They haven't gotten back to me yet, but I did put a little word out there to recommend that they study nitric oxide and the didgeridoo, because I really do believe that there's something here when it comes to that. But I'm not a researcher. I'm a creative, and I am a helper of you. But just to demonstrate really quick, like my whole nose is vibrating so intensely. Essentially, what's happening is your skull is becoming another resonating chamber for the instrument. You're attaching the resonant chamber of your skull and your mouth and your throat. You're attaching all of this space to the vibrating column of air of the didgeridoo. So it's like your head is becoming another resonating chamber for this sound, and you can feel it. You can definitely feel it. So when you look at people playing the didgeridoo online, it looks like an intimidating instrument. There's all kinds of levels of playing that you can take this. But when it comes to just using it for therapeutic sound purposes, you don't need to do any of those fancy tricks. And actually just getting the basic sound is extremely easy. I'm going to do another video on some tips and tricks that actually helped me get my first sound out of the didgeridoo. But I promise you it's actually way easier than you think. And this didgeridoo, the Meinl synthetic 51-inch didgeridoo, is only $50. So it's actually not that expensive to get into this practice. You don't actually need to learn how to circular breathe to play the didgeridoo. You can do it just like humming or just like vocal toning, where you make the sound and then you take a breath through the nose and then you make a sound again. And I actually find that having that gap, that silence in between the rounds of playing the didgeridoo is quite nice. Like, it doesn't bother me at all. And it's not to say that you can't learn circular breathing. It's definitely something that you can learn how to do, but it takes a little bit of practice, And if you just want to pick this up and immediately start having a good time, you can do that, and you don't have to learn circular breathing in order to do that. So now I want to talk about a secondary benefit of the didgeridoo, and that is using the voice in combination with the sound of the didgeridoo. So you can just play the didgeridoo and it will have its own sound, right? That's the one that I was making earlier. And you can add your voice to that. And that is something that I call didge toning. And there's a lot of really nice aspects of didge toning. For one, you're using your voice, which a lot of people are shy when it comes to using the voice. But what I find is that when you are using your voice through the didgeridoo, it augments the sound of your voice. It changes the sound of your voice, and it sounds kind of otherworldly. It sounds like angelic or oceanic. And, for people who are shy about using the voice because they think the voice doesn't sound good or you don't like the sound of your voice, I find that doing this process of didge toning might actually help you get more comfortable using your voice, because it's changing it. It's making it sound weird. It's making it sound different. And because there's that change, you might be able to actually be less self-conscious about it. So that is one benefit that I really want to let you know about, is that it can actually help you become more comfortable using your voice, which is like a gateway. It's like a certain level that you get to that can help open up other levels of development with using your voice for therapeutic purposes and self-expression and all of that kind of stuff. So it's great for gaining confidence and experience using the voice by adding your voice to the didge playing process. And I'm going to demonstrate this here in a minute, but I just wanted to tell you about that before we get into it. Another benefit of doing the didge toning is that you can actually do what I call phase drifting with your voice and the didgeridoo. So phase drifting is a phrase that I coined to describe when you are using your voice against another frequency, and you actually create a monaural beat or a wobbling beat between your voice and the other frequency. This is how binaural beats are made. If you have two people that are humming and you're humming almost the same frequency but not quite, you'll hear a wobble that emerges. That's phase drifting, and it's essentially phase cancellation between your voices or the two sounds. So you can do that with the didgeridoo. You can create this phase cancellation, and it creates a different wobbling rhythmic pulses of energy depending on how far away the two frequencies are. So I'm going to demonstrate this really quick, and then I'm going to walk you through how to didge tone on your own. So hopefully you can hear the additional frequencies of the voice when they come through, and you can hear the wah 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 as I hit different pitches in relationship to the fundamental frequency of this didgeridoo. So the fundamental pitch is right around there. So essentially, if I were to be making this sound on the fundamental, it would be like this. And that's all I'm doing. But then, if you go up the next step, yeah, my voice sounds great. If you go up like a scale with it, you'll actually be creating different relationships between the pitch of your voice and the frequencies of the didgeridoo, and those will create different phase cancellation amounts, and it'll create this wobble, this binaural wobble. Actually, it's a monaural wobble, and that is also hitting you in the face. That's also hitting you in the body, and it feels really nice, and it's just so fun to play with. So I'm going to walk up the scale, and I'll start on the fundamental note of the didgeridoo, and you'll be able to hear the wobble change. And I should mention, when you're in unison, so when I'm directly on the note, the fundamental note of the didgeridoo, there's no wobble. That's unison, and there's no wobble. But as soon as I even move a little bit away, it will create a wobble. And the slower the wobble, the closer I am to the fundamental. But as I move further away from the fundamental, the wobble will get faster. And that's essentially how it works. There's more that could be said, but I will spare you the details for now. And you can do so much fun play with this. You don't have to actually follow a scale with your voice. You can do these micro tonal adjustments, just slightly up, slightly down, and it just feels so good, and it feels so expressive. Helps me tap into a state of flow with this sound in particular, because it does sound so otherworldly. It sounds like the trumpets of heaven, or it sounds like the sound of triumph. It sounds like something that is uplifting and energizing and inspiring. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'll catch you in the next video.